Warm greetings, beautiful people. How are you, Africans? I hope you guys are good. I'm good, guys. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the platform, the agenda. And we know this year, the Inkatha Freedom Party is celebrating its 50th anniversary, right? So this year, the Inkatha Freedom Party, the IFP, is turning 50 years. So I'll just be taking you through the IFP's history through my own lenses, but mainly relying on the book. There's a book written by Mzala Nxumalo, right, where I talk about Mangosuthu Buthelezi, the former leader of the IFP, as a the double agenda and opportunist, right? So I'll be talking about the IFP because I actually subscribe to the views that are found in that book by Mzala Nxumalo regarding the Inkatha Freedom Party. So I'll be taking you through that, right? So as you know, as I've already said, that the IFP this year is turning 50 years, and they held their rally to celebrate 50 years at in KwaZulu-Natal, right? At Ulundi, right? At Ulundi, right? So this is what Mzala Nxumalo had to say about the Inkatha Freedom Party, right? Because Nxumalo's core argument, right, was that Buthelezi tried to play both sides, right? As those who know how the IFP got to be established and all about that, it was actually established by established through the blessings, right? Through the blessings of the ANC leadership under Oliver Tambo, right? So Nxumalo's core argument was that Buthelezi tried to play both sides, right? Firstly, presenting himself as a leader of the oppressed black majority, while simultaneously cooperating with the apartheid regime. Nxumalo accused him of maintaining ties with the ruling National Party and acting as a buffer against revolutionary change. One, contradictory public statements, public stance, right, by Buthelezi. Buthelezi publicly denounced apartheid, but refused to align with armed resistance or economic sanctions against the regime, right? One key element, right? Engagement with apartheid structures. Despite opposing independence for the KwaZulu-Natal homeland, he willingly operated within the Bantustan systems, making him complicit in the broader apartheid structure. Then secondly, collaborating with the apartheid government and security forces. Right. Inkatha's role in political violence. Right. This is where Nxumalo provides an extensive evidence suggesting that Buthelezi and Inkatha benefited from state support to counter the ANC and the UDF. The UDF being the United Democratic Front. Right. Inkatha's role in political violence. Nxumalo documented how Buthelezi's movement was involved in brutal conflicts, particularly in the 1980s and early 1990s. He pointed to evidence that elements of the South African Security Council, right, Security forces funded and armed Inkatha to wage war against ANC-aligned communities. We know, right, the terror that the Inkatha Freedom Party caused, right, the Inkatha Freedom Party caused in the townships, right, those townships that were aligned to the African National Congress. Anti-sanction stance. While the ANC and other liberation movements called for economic sanctions to weaken apartheid, Buthelezi opposed them, arguing that they would harm black workers. Nxumalo saw this as a defense of the economic interests of apartheid capitalists rather than genuine concern for the people. Thirdly, Buthelezi's use of Zulu nationalism for political gain. Nxumalo strongly criticized Buthelezi's reliance on Zulu ethnic identity, arguing that it divided black South Africans rather than uniting them against apartheid. Zulu identity as a political tool, Buthelezi framed himself as a custodian of Zulu traditions, but Nxumalo argued that this was a tactic to consolidate power rather than a genuine commitment to Zulu heritage. Inkatha versus the broader liberation movement. Instead of aligning with the national struggle led by the ANC, Buthelezi used Inkatha to position himself as a Zulu nationalist alternative, which Nxumalo saw as a dangerous form of ethnic politics. Number 4, authoritarianism and political repression. Nxumalo described Buthelezi as an authoritarian leader who tolerated little dissent within Inkatha and the KwaZulu government. Number 1, suppression of opponents. Nxumalo accused Buthelezi of violently silencing critics within KwaZulu. Those who opposed his leadership within Inkatha or questioned his relationship with the apartheid state often faced intimidation or even worse. Control over Inkatha and KwaZulu-Natal government. Buthelezi ruled KwaZulu-Natal as an unelected leader, ensuring that the homeland administration remained loyal to him. Number 5, Buthelezi's role in the political violence of the 1980s and 1990s. Nxumalo's most damning criticism was that Buthelezi actively contributed to the violent destabilization of anti-apartheid movements. We had Inkatha vis-a-vis UDF and ANC clashes. Nxumalo documented how Buthelezi's forces clashed with ANC-aligned groups, often with support from the apartheid regime. We know how the apartheid regime supported the IFP. Right. Third, false allegations. Later revelations, including post-apartheid Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the TRC findings, confirmed aspects of Nxumalo's claims. Inkatha received covert assistance from the state to attack ANC strongholds. Then what is the conclusion here? Conclusion that Buthelezi as a counter-revolutionary. Nxumalo's ultimately framed Buthelezi as a leader who stood in the way of true liberation. He did not view Buthelezi as merely a conservative politician, but as an active agent who weakened the anti-apartheid struggle. While Buthelezi always denied these accusations, Nxumalo's work remains one of the most detailed critiques of his legacy, shaping how many within the liberation movement viewed him. Right. So here's it, because we've seen even with the passing of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, right? We saw how some people were trying to sanitize the history of the IFP, right? All of a sudden looking to distort or rewrite history, right? Trying to picture the IFP as a progressive organization, right? I mean, but because history has no blank pages, the recent action by the IFP to join with the Inkatha, with the Democratic Alliance and others and the ANC in the so-called Government of National Unity further exposes that how IFP has always been a collaborationist, that the IFP has always collaborated with the white oppressors to oppress black people. So they've carried this thing even now to the new dispensation through the so-called Government of National Unity. This clearly proves what Mzala Nxumalo was saying about the IFP and the IFP as a collaborationist organization, right? An organization that is always working with the white establishment against the interest of the black majority, right? So I thought I should do this piece as part of commemorating or as part of the events where the IFP is celebrating 50 years. We need to ensure that younger generations, people get to know about who's the IFP, what is it that the IFP represents, right? Because we know people will go at length to sanitize history and distort the history. Thank you for joining, guys. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you very much, Africa. Said.